Hey, this is the Bad Guy Hash Broken podcast. Now, I made this list back in 2018, May 2018 to be exact. Now, since it's now, I really ain't seen too many bad movies since then. The only ones I've seen that was really, really bad was John Henry and what's that movie called, bro? There's a Tyler Perry movie's on Netflix, but that's going in there. That's going. Let me see. It's gonna bother me that I don't remember the name. It's like something about faith or something like that. What's that movie called? It's like something like that. Something about faith or something like that. Could have sworn it was called something like that. But that's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Fall from Grace. My fault. I said faith. Fall from Grace. That movie was awful. That'll probably be in here. I really can't. Nah, it's not bad. I'm gonna do honorable mention. It's an honorable mention. That's what I'm gonna do. Honorable mention. Another honorable mention. So this is my top 25 worst movies of all time. All time. So honorable mentions are The Boy and Fall from Grace. The Boy was terrible. I'm sorry. The Boy was terrible. And then when this nigga jumped, spoiler alert. First off, spoiler alert. When this nigga, so the whole movie, it made it seem like this nigga was, this doll was possessed. And it wasn't. This nigga just jumped through the wall. This nigga was just moving his doll around the entire movie. That was the twist. This nigga was moving a doll around the entire movie and then jumped through the wall. The movie sucked. Wait, do I have that? Oh, I ain't got the other movie in there. I don't think it must not have been out yet, or I just forgot about it. Cabin in the Woods need to be in there too. That's another movie that was bad too. Only good scene about Cabin in the Woods was when this nigga gave him that big pep talk like they did on Deep Blue Sea, and this nigga drove his motorcycle off this ramp looking thing, and then hit a wall, hit an imaginary wall like he was in a video game, bro. That it was Thor. Thor got hit by this shit, but that mess was hilarious. Okay, number 25, Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang. Now you gonna get into it. That movie was stupid. Black people love this movie for some reason. I don't understand it. Every time I bring it up, they be like, "Yeah, you ever seen Pootie Tang?" I'm like, "That movie's awful." They be like, "Well, you don't like Pootie Tang?" Pootie Tang was trash. That movie's awful. And if you've never seen Pootie Tang, don't. It's literally a dude. It's a Chris Rock made movie, and all he does is he just talks Sadate, Sadaramate, oh the Damatemane. It's like the whole movie is like this. On the Remington. I'm like, stop. And it's not like at the end of the movie we get an understanding. It's like, oh, the reason why I talk like this is because, you know what I'm saying? They said he's too cool for words. That was his name. And he's just, but the thing was, that's the joke. He just does this for an hour and a half on the Remington. Sadate. And I'm just sitting there like, what? What is this? Number 24, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oh my gosh. You talking about bad CGI? The funny thing is, the first time I saw it, I saw a bootleg, and this bootleg was bad. And it was basically like, okay, y'all probably seen the same bootleg. If you've seen this bootleg was bad. It was pretty much, it wasn't fully rendered yet. Like the CGI wasn't all the way done yet. It wasn't all the way done. So when he was fighting at the very end against Deadpool, it was fake. Like you saw like green screen, all this other stuff like that. It was just like, oh, this is bad. Then I saw the real movie, and it wasn't much off. It was still low key the same, and I'm just like, this is pretty bad. It was terrible. It was a terrible movie. Number 23. I love this series, but this is the one that killed it for me. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, bro. This nigga hid in a fridge, bro. He was in a nuke town, like in Call of Duty. They blew this place up, and this nigga hid in a fridge and survived the blast, bro. A bomb, it was like literally like an A bomb dropped on this city, and this nigga lived by hiding in a refrigerator. And this nigga Shia LaBeouf was swinging on vines with monkeys, bro. These fake ass CGI monkey. It was just, this movie was a mess. And then you had the aliens. This movie was just a mess. I remember watching. I was like, this movie is terrible. And I was a kid watching the movie too. I think I was either like a kid or a teenager. No, I had been a teenager, but I was just sitting there like, this movie is a mess. Number 22. As much as I like the visuals when they first came out, Ultraviolet, bro. Ultraviolet was a terrible movie. I'm not even gonna get into it. And that's the thing is, Mila Jovovich, I think is her name. I don't think I've seen one movie and I was impressed in. Besides the very first Resident Evil movie, which I was like, okay, even though this isn't the same story, personally, I like the Resident Evil movie story better than any other Resident Evil game ever dropped. The very first one, I liked the story. The second one was like, ah. Then it was like third one, ah. Then it just got worse and worse. Then they tried to do the stuff in the story, and I was just like, this is bad. It was just bad. It was bad. Number 21, Terminator Salvation. Let me tell you, this is the only movie, because Christian Bale is in my top 10 actors of all time. Christian Bale's cold. But this movie, he couldn't save it. The only good part was, spoiler alert, only good part was Arnold Schwarzenegger CGI coming back. Dun 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 dun. Because I remember watching, like, bro, when's this movie going to end? Then when that part happened, I was into it, like, okay. Then they punched the face off immediately. Then he went up against the normal Terminator. Then he's the normal Terminator at this point. And I was just like, Number 20, Daredevil. We ain't get into it. That if you've seen Daredevil, you know what it is. Movie sucks. Number 19, Black Christmas. Oh my God. If you talk about the most predictable movie ever in life, you'll watch this and be like, he's going to stab him with that right there. Nope, he did it. That's the entire movie is like that. You see, and you'll see something like they'll be talking and you'll see this, and you're like, he might get stabbed with that. Oh, he got stabbed with that. It was just, the whole movie was like that. You knew what was going to happen next. The movie was terrible too. On top of the movie was just terrible. It wasn't scary. They had like an incest storyline, which was weird, and then only thing saving that movie was that girl's cheeks when she was taking a shower, and they showed like an upwards angle of her cheeks. That was the only thing that was saving that movie, and it was like, okay. Even though she had her back arched, but I was like, okay, you trying to tease us a little bit. But yeah, that movie sucked. Number 18, Resident Evil Afterlife. Again, I said Mila Jovovich is one of those people where no matter what movie it is, it's terrible. I don't know what it is. Every movie she does is just bad. Fifth Element was straight. I can tolerate that one. But Resident Evil Afterlife, that's the one. Oh my God. It was like they were trying to do the game. Like, let's try to do the game now. And it was just, you gotta remember, video games, you're supposed to play through these. And you're supposed to, and it doesn't matter. The story is not gonna be like, oh my God. Like usually it's not like, and this is like an older game too. That was made by teenagers on top of that. So the story isn't nothing crazy. It's just like, so they try to do that and put on the screen. It's not good to watch. It's one of the things you gotta play through. And it's like, okay, that's straight. You gotta get some kind of story in the game full of zombies. But it was just, that wasn't it. Number 17, Batman and Robin. That's the one with the with the nipples. They put nipples on the Batsuit. This nigga had a Batman credit card. Not even joking. You think I'm roasting right now? I'm not. This nigga had a Batman credit card. He said, never leave home without it. Everything they said in this movie, if you go back and watch it, everything they said in this movie was like a one-liner. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just bat card, never leave home without it. Just saying corny stuff like that. It was just, the entire movie was like this. It was bad. It was bad. Number 16. It's my favorite superhero too. But this one was bad. Spider-Man 3. Oh my God. And then I found out that the dude who made the movie, Sam Raimi, didn't want to put Venom in there in the first place. That's why he made the movie so bad with Venom in it. Because he said he wanted to just do Sandman, which was cool. The Sandman story part was cool. If you ever noticed, the Sandman part was cold when he was turning to the sand, whatever, trying to get the man. That mess was cool. All that was cool. And the thing is, Venom is probably my favorite villain out of all of them in the Spider-Man genre. But it just the fact that this man really went to the church just to pray for Peter Parker's downfall, bro. That's the part I will never let that go, bro. This nigga really went to church just to pray for this man's downfall. Like that's how wild this is. That's how wild this is. He really went and prayed for this man's downfall. Number 15. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. As a kid, I love these movies. I love the Mortal Kombat movies, but you gotta remember I was a kid. I was a child. I was like 6 years old, 6, 7 years old watching these movies. And I just was obsessed with Mortal Kombat back then. I would have took any. I watched those two movies, and there was an anime movie that had it out. That had out back in the day. And I remember I used to be watched by a babysitter, and they would just put all three of these movies on. They would put this animated movie in. I can't remember how long the animated movie was, but I remember I would start off with that. Then I watched the first Mortal Kombat, then Mortal Kombat Annihilation, every time. Because I loved those movies as a kid. But the Mortal Kombat Annihilation was terrible. The acting in there, they were hamming it up. Dude playing Shao Kahn, it will be glorious. And then you had, too bad you will die. Like, she was trying to summon her inner Jim Carrey. Like, all that. It was bad. What's next? Number 14. Oh, epic movie. Epic movie, oh my gosh, was so bad. It was so bad. It's like I can't just point out a specific scene because it was just bad. Like that and Meet the Spartans were like on the same level of bad, but I just didn't want to put a whole. Because if I did that, it would have been pretty much all those movies, like epic movies, superhero movies. All the movies would have been on this list, and I just would have been in. So I just put one in there, and I just remember like not liking that one the least. Meet the Spartans was bad. Meet the Spartans was terrible, but epic movie was edging it. Like that one was the worst. Number 13, Elektra. The only thing I liked about this movie, Elektra, that I thought was cool was the man with the tattoos. The man had tattoos of different animals, and he was able to summon them. So they would jump. The tattoo would jump off his body and would become whatever animal it was. So if he had like a lion tattoo on his shoulder, the lion tattoo would jump off his shoulder and then turn into an actual lion, like in real life, and then try to attack you. Which I thought was a cold idea. I don't know if I've never heard of that supervillain before, but I thought it was cold. But other than that, hey, the movie sucked. The movie was ass. And on top of that, she had died too. So it was like, how are you getting your own movie? It doesn't make sense. Number 12, Freddy Got Fingered. This is one of those movies where you're going to need prayer. Before, during, and after watching it. This is one of the movies you're going to be like, bruh, this really was greenlit. Out of all the movies out there, there's a lot of movies that didn't get made yet. And you're like, man, how come this wasn't a movie yet? Or how come this? And this movie was made. Like, this movie, everybody who went this movie was going to hell. Everybody. Every single one of them. They going. Because that movie was atrocious. It was bad. They had one scene, it was like the center of sexually molested children. Something like that, bro. They had that. They had a scene with, Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Like, oh my God. And then he's just going down the assembly line like, merp, merp, merp. It was just, hey, Daddy, I'm a farmer. He just started grabbing the cow's meat. Like, it was just, well, not cow, but it was, no, I think, was it a bull? It was something he grabbed. It was some animal's meat he grabbed. And he was just, hey, Daddy, I'm a farmer. It was just one of the movies. You be like, bro, what? Number 11, Grudge 2. Grudge 1 was already bad. And I just, after Grudge 2, I was like, I'm not going to sit there and subject myself to Grudge 3. I'm better than this. I know my worth. Grudge 2 was bad. Like, Grudge 1 was bad, but I was like, okay, like, it was like, I accepted it. But Grudge 2, I remember I watched with my parents. And the whole time we were just complaining, like, bruh, when's the movie gonna end? Like, the whole time. The movie was terrible. Number 10. This one, and what made it worse was this movie, my little brother was going through what I was going through with Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where they just kept watching it because they just messed with the series. Movie Dead or Alive. Oh my gosh. This movie was bad. It was really bad. And what made it worse was, like I said, my brother used to pop it in all the time. Oh, because his favorite character was Zach, and he would just be popping that movie in, and it was just so bad. I'm just sitting there like, stop playing this weak ass movie, and he just kept playing it too, just kept on playing it, and it was so bad. Number 9, The Invasion. Movie sucked, and my dad hyped it up so much too to get me to watch it, begging and pleading me to watch this movie. I watched it, and the movie was utter trash. Oh, it's one of them. Oh, it's one of them ones. You just be like, it's one of them. It's frustratingly bad. You just like, bruh, when the movie gonna end? Like when I start getting, that's what pretty much this top 10 is. When's the movie gonna end? That's how probably y'all feeling about this one right here. When's it gonna end? Number 8, movie 43. This is the only movie out of all these movies I did not finish. I know my worth. I was watching movie 43. I was about. The movie had no point. It was just pretty much this guy running these ideas to this producer. It was Dennis Quaid. He was running these. And I guess this is how bad the movie is. They had 2 different versions of the movie. They had one version, I guess, where these little kids was trying to watch it. This is one I heard about too, because somebody else was like, "Nah, that didn't happen in my movie." Like they watched movie 43, and it's like these 2 little kids watching it, and they were going through these different things. I don't know, but they were just pretty much like they were trying to find a perfect movie, something like that. Something like find a perfect movie or something like that, and they were skipping through these different skits, watching the same skits though, but it was just they're skipping through. The one I watched, it was Dennis Quaid trying to promote these movies to somebody, and they were just like, "Nah, yeah, come with something better." He just kept coming with more crazier and crazier ideas. But that movie was terrible. I got like maybe 5 or 6 skits in, and I said I can't do this anymore. Number 7, Plan 9 from Outer Space. This is just a bad movie. You know, what makes it worse is it's an old movie too. It's old, but the thing was, I went into this one knowing it was bad. That's the only thing about this one compared to the other movies. I went into this knowing it was bad. Everybody's like, "This is the worst movie of all time." So I was like, "Let me go ahead and see what it's about." And they weren't lying. This movie was bad. It was bad. Number 6, Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball. Oh my god. And made it worse was I watched Shameless later on and realized that it was Fiona and Jimmy in this movie. That's who it was. And I'm just sitting there watching like, it was these 2 niggas? Like these were the 2 niggas. Because I went back, I watched that weak ass movie, then I went and watched Shameless later on, and then I was watching something else about Dragon Ball Evolution, and I was like, no, that's them? Bruh. That movie was bad. It was like they never watched Dragon Ball a day in their life. And I know it's hard to try to cram seasons and seasons all into an hour and a half movie, which is understandable. That's why I don't like when they try to make movies out of a TV show. Like you're trying to cram all this different stuff into one movie that it took them episodes upon episodes to develop. And you're trying to develop people in 3 minutes, and you're trying to get your last fight scene in. You're trying to make a story out of it. It's a lot. You can't do that. And this movie definitely proved it, and the CGI was bad too as well. Number 5, The Spirit. Oh my. This is probably an unpopular opinion, but a lot of people like this. From what I hear, they like this movie. They like this weak ass movie. I feel like I got a little fuzz. Got a little fuzz in there somewhere. Okay. But yeah, The Spirit was bad. And he had some weird thing about the city. The city needs me. The city. He was like obsessed with the city is my woman. But he had several women. He had like 20 women. Every time you saw him, he had a new chick. But he was still talking about the city. Even Death was a woman, and she was in love with this nigga. And he was like, I can't do this. So it was a weird movie. And Samuel Jackson was wearing Nazi outfits, and they had these weird clones, like these henchmen clones that just kept dying. They was getting killed, and they was turning into feet / heads. It was just weird. It was a weird movie, and it was awful. And it was PG-13 too on top of it. So there wasn't like, it was like you did all the Sin City like stuff, but it was just, there was no point in it being like that. I don't know. The movie was trash. Number 4. This is another one. I shouldn't even finish this one, but I did it. I powered through. Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. The first Ghost Rider was bad, but it was tolerable. It's like Fantastic Four. Like, it was bad, but it was tolerable. Fantastic 4 2 was like, whew. Rider Silver Surfer, ooh, that movie was bad. But Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance was on another world. Bro, he was in rare form. This nigga was pissing fire, all kind of stuff. Like, he was tripping to even be in that. That movie's bad. Like, it's really bad. It didn't even seem real. I was watching, I was like, this is a real movie? Like, this movie was bad. Number 3, In the Name of the King. This was like some kind of like adventure, like nighttime, like the night's time, like period, like a period movie. But it had like magic and stuff, which I'm cool with. Like, I like those kind of movies. I like anything supernatural. I like anything like that. But this one was bad. What made it worse was you had a movie full of Americans, a British main character, and you had Ray Liotta as the villain, but he still had a Jersey accent. It was bad. And then on top of the movie was just bad too. It was just bad. I'm going to this next one. Number 2, The Purge election year. Oh my gosh. Now, the first Purge to me was bad. The first Purge is bad. You know, the fact that your neighbor's trying to kill you, and then you end up being like, no, we're gonna do better than this. We're not gonna kill each other. You know, even though you killed my husband, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna just sit here until this purge is over with. And then they did it. Like, they can't, like someone's gonna check and be like, oh no, you didn't kill him. You know what I'm saying? It was 5 minutes after the purge when they killed him, blah, blah, we needed to take him in. No, they ain't doing that. They could have still killed you, nigga. Like, it was stupid. You gotta see these niggas again next year. All year, they just planning on how to kill you again. Like, that movie was terrible. Purge 1 was terrible. Second one was better. It was still bad, but it was better. Because it was like, and on top of that was, the first one, they only showed inside the one house. When you have something where crime is free, you know, so you can do whatever crime you want for 6, 12 hours, however long it was, you're supposed to show everything that's going on. They didn't. I just didn't understand why they didn't do that. So the second one came, I was like, yeah, this is it. But it was bad. It was bad, but like I said, but I was able to tolerate it. I was like, okay, this one makes more sense, and we got to see what was going on out in the world, and we saw niggas tripping and stuff like that. So it was nice to see that. It was nice to see that. Sorry, I'm trying to go back and find it. Yeah, it was bad, but it was like, okay, but it's better than the first one. But this third one, though, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself. This was the one where this girl was trying to kill niggas over candy bars, bro. This one was fucking terrible. This one was ass. This one soaked. That movie soaked. It was awful. This nigga, bro, you gonna give me that candy bar? Give me the candy bar. Oh my god, the overacting. Just the goofiness, the whole movie was just, oh my, the movie was terrible. Beginning scene with the what you call it, when they was playing the funk music in the beginning. Like, usually I understand when you kill somebody in a movie and you got music that's not scary, but it's like, but in that situation it would be scary. Like, Stuck in the Middle, which is like, that mess worked when they did it in the other movies. It worked. This one, it didn't work because they was playing like, I think they was playing like, what was it? It was like a Parliament Funkadelic kind of song. It was something like that. It was like, flashlight, flashlight, neon light, Stop lying. I can't remember what song it was, but it was something along those lines. And I was just sitting there like, this don't work. But yeah, that movie was ass. The movie sucked. And number one worst movie of all time. The Hulk. Oh my gosh. The Hulk. Not the Incredible Hulk. Not the one they did later on that had what's that nigga's name? The guy from Fight Club. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. Usually I would know, but right now I just can't. It's not coming to me. But the original one with Eric Bana, I know the character's name is Bruce Banner, but the guy playing it, his name is Eric Bana. That movie was awful. Then, the dad sending the dogs after the fiance or the girlfriend, whatever it was, to him. The dad sending the dogs after her, trying to get her killed. Nigga biting on cables, turning into a superhero. You got him looking into the mirror and the Hulk snatching him through the mirror. The nigga blowing up, and it was all goofy looking. And it cut to the way the camera cut to the next scene like it was a comic book. It was awful. It was just awful. That's one of the movies. I was a kid and I was like, this movie sucks. And usually as a kid, you're supposed to just be like, oh, you take a movie for what it is and you just kind of accept it and you just like the cool scenes out of it. But that movie, even as a kid, I was like, what was that? I was like, that movie was ass. And then I saw it again as an adult and I was like, oh my, I could really take in everything. I'm just like, this movie was awful. Yeah, I'm just gonna end it right there, bro. That was an abomination of a movie. No pun intended for the villain. That movie sucked. Y'all keep it tight.